Hey friends, what's up? Welcome back to Onward. I hope you all are doing fabulous today. It is Sunday for me. I don't know what day it is for you, but whatever day it is, I'm happy you're here and that you found Onward and you're here to spend the time with me. Today we're going to be talking about a couple things, but most importantly, we're going to be talking about the cult of comparison. I'm actually writing a speech on this for school, and let me just say, this stupid little speech contest is driving me absolutely bonkers. It's crazy how you don't realize how much something stresses you out until it's too late. Listen, I was debating between a couple of ideas for the speech contest. One of them was silly, and it was why everyone needs a hot girl walk, but I didn't really feel like being a girl on stage talking about TikTok slang, even though part of it was talking about the whole trend of calling things girl or like girl math or girl whatever, you know. But I eventually decided on how social media promotes mental health issues, and a big part of that is the cult of comparison. So I just want to say that when we compare ourselves to others, we're comparing ourselves to a false image of others, a highlight reel, if you will. And this is extremely damaging to our mental health. It's unfair for ourselves to be doing this because, after all, what we see online is not a true representation of someone's life. Let's be real now. Think about all the times that you've taken 100 pictures and not even maybe liked one of them. And maybe you edit that picture. And think about all the influencers who edit their pictures and you compare yourself to them, and that's not fair to you, right? So I just want to say that when you're online, be careful not to compare yourself to others because everyone is struggling behind the scenes. Everyone is having a hard time. And it's not fair to yourself. You'll drive yourself absolutely bonkers. And I don't want that for any of you because what you should be doing is focusing on yourself and trying to make your life better in every way possible. I have this little book here called How to Be, or You Are a Badass, and there's a little chapter on comparison, so I just want to read it briefly. Do not waste your precious time giving one single crap about what anyone else thinks of you. What other people think about you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. The only questions you ever need to consider when making decisions about your life are 1. Is this something I want to do, be, or have? And 2. Is this going to take me in the direction I want to go, not should go? And finally, 3. Is this going to screw you over? Is this going to screw over anyone else in the process? Your mother being disappointed or your friends being outraged does not qualify as screwing someone over. All that matters is what's true for you. And if you can stay connected to that without straying, you will be a mighty superhero. You are more than enough. Avoid comparison like the plague. So I think what this is trying to say is essentially listen to yourself, Follow your passions, follow your dreams, and don't let what other people think get in the way of that because there are going to be haters, as cheesy as it sounds. There's going to be people that are trying to drag you down, but what's super important is that you believe in yourself and you stay true to yourself and you follow through for yourself. As we said in Res, do it for yourself because you matter, you deserve it, and you are so important to this world. Now, I just want to say, I was going to film this episode yesterday, but I was in such a bad mood, and so I went on a little walk, I did some self-care, I even journaled, and I went to bed early. Now, I've been actually journaling every day for the last, I'd say, couple weeks, and I used to do this in Res every day, and I filled up a whole journal, but I recently got back into it, and I didn't realize how helpful it actually was to get out my emotions and kind of purge my emotions on paper rather than into a toilet bowl. you know? But one thing that I wrote recently and I just want to talk about is feeling like a burden to the people around you because your feelings are completely valid. You are not a burden. Everyone is struggling in their own way, and that's true. And the people I care about, you will understand that. So I just want to read a little something that I wrote. Um, I feel like such a burden to the family, especially Ben, my brother, when he comes home. He doesn't even get one day drama free, no matter how much I try. I feel like such a narcissist. I discuss myself in infinite ways. I know I am worthy of feeling happy and confident, but I am my own biggest enemy in getting there. I want to be free from this tyrannical circle of hell, but how can I possibly find the escape route? So, it's really hard when you feel like a burden to your family, to the people that you love, or your friends, or whoever it may be, order yourself in a way, if you feel like you're holding yourself back, but it's all part of the journey, it's all part of the process, and you are absolutely not a burden to anyone. Everyone is focusing on their own journey, and that's okay, and you should be too. Now, another little excerpt that I wanted to read from here is just, again, about comparison, and it's one person's beauty or one person's skill does not take away from your own. And this is so important because when we compare ourselves to others, we immediately drag ourselves down. We compare ourselves to a supermodel, let's say, and you say, ugh, I'm ugly, I'm not worthy, I'm this, I'm that. But think about how many supermodels there are, Gigi Hadid doesn't take away from her sister's beauty, or like Naomi Campbell doesn't take away from anyone else's beauty at all. It's not a competition, and it shouldn't be for you. And this extends to all things. I was thinking about this in terms of writing because, like I said, we had the speech contest, and after I was hearing other people's speeches, I immediately was berating my own. But let's listen to what I have to say. I always feel like my writing is good until I hear someone else's. But two good things can coexist without taking away from one another. That is absolutely true. Just because someone's writing is good doesn't mean yours is bad. Think about how many books that we have that we all love, No one's debating if Lord of the Rings is better than Harry Potter in terms of writing style. That's simply not great. They're both appreciated for what they are because they're both works of art. And you're a work of art, and what you produce is a work of art. And don't you forget that. The next thing I want to talk about is faking it till you make it. Listen. This is hard, especially when you feel so down in the dumps, you feel a little helpless. But the truth is, it's not helpless. You might just have to lie to yourself a little bit. So get in front of the mirror and start saying some damn affirmations like, I am worthy, I am beautiful. And even though it may sound silly, even if you're faking it in the beginning, it eventually will ring true and resonate. I struggle with this still, I don't necessarily believe what I'm saying, but as time has went on and as I've repeated these affirmations, I have found things that I do like about myself and that do make me happy about myself. So I like to post it, affirmations on the mirror, or say it every day in the mirror, even if it's not sincere, because maybe one day it will be, Next thing I want to talk about is just how I feel like everything in the universe is making me angry, Whether it be school, whether it be how I dress, whether it be something someone says, or the way someone breathes, I am just so irritated. And the truth is, this is because I'm irritated with myself. The more you are angry at yourself, the more angry you're going to be with the world. So try and find little things that make you happy. I recently have been re-picking up painting because when I was little I used to love it, but I'm not good at it by any means, but it does make me happy to have a creative outlet. Or crocheting, I've gotten back into. I was totally obsessed with it in res, and I'm doing it again now, and it is making me happy, and it's a nice distraction from things too. I think having these little activities that can be distractions for you is a great idea because then you're not ruminating on hating yourself necessarily, So whether it be taking a walk, doing your makeup, doing skincare, doing your hair, reading a book, doing some arts and crafts, just try and find the little things that make you happy and make it a habit of doing them because eventually you'll find more gratitude for the world and just have a happier attitude even if it doesn't feel like that in the beginning. Going back to comparison, the next thing I want to talk about is that I actually deleted TikTok this week, which was a bit ridiculous for me because I never thought I would do that. Last week I went to do it, but I accidentally just deleted the bookmark I have on it of my phone because I did the whole widget customization thingy-majiggy, but I deleted TikTok and my screen time was not only down 24%, and I don't know if it's exactly correlated or if I was just doing more work this weekend or whatever, but I have found that I am a bit happier. It's crazy. I'm not so consumed by my phone and I'm doing these activities, like I said, that bring me joy. I'm not just on the internet and doom scrolling and making myself feel like crap because I'm constantly comparing myself to others. It's pretty swagalicious if I do say so myself, and it is scary, and who knows, maybe I'll re-download it when I'm in a better headspace, but I recommend that maybe you delete it. or maybe delete Instagram, or whatever you feel is the most damaging to your mental health or your well-being. Why not take a chance? Why not stand up to the social media gods and Mark Zuckerberg and say, I don't need you, I'm too good for you, and focus on yourself and work on yourself. Next thing I want to talk about is resentment and long-term resentment. And so in 9th grade, this was about 3 years ago, I had a horrible friendship breakup. I've talked about this before, but I'm still bitter over it. As much as I've talked to therapists about it and journaled and tried to process it, I'm still angry and triggered by these people. And I was at the gym the other day, and I was with my trainer, and I was having a really good time, and all of a sudden, I see one of the girls that hurt me. And immediately my mood shifted, and I was angry, and I was resentful and bitter, and was not enjoying my workout anymore. That's for dang sure. I was comparing myself to her because maybe she had a better body in my view than I did, or a bigger butt, or whatever it may be, and it just made me angry, and I was jealous, and I was angry that I was jealous over someone that did something so cruel to me. But that just goes to show once again that comparison is the devil. It's a cult, and you've all been indoctrinated into it in some way, no matter your age or gender. It doesn't matter. It's a human nature to compare, I think, because we constantly are looking for ways to better ourselves. But comparing yourselves to others isn't the solution. It's not going to better yourself because everyone has different needs and wants in life and different goals and paths that they're going to take. And just because someone is a little bit ahead of you doesn't mean that you're not going to get there. It just may take you another week or another month or maybe even a year. But we have such a long lifetime to be focusing on ourselves and to be doing things to make ourselves happy, and life's a journey, you have the time to explore, and you're gonna get there. So, going back to my point, I haven't dropped my anger over this person. I'm working hard to do it, but try not to let it get in the way of your emotions or your day, because it's simply not worth it. It's not fair. Ooh, wait, guys, this is random, but yesterday I saw Saltburn with my friend, and it was really nice, not only because Jacob Elordi is absolutely fine as freak in it, he has a little eyebrow piercing, and might I say, oh my goodness, but I actually went with an old friend, which was super lovely, and I've been trying to reach out to my friends from my old school a bit more because they're who make me happy, and I'm trying to make myself happy, and it was a bit scary to reach out initially, not gonna lie, because, I was kind of scared that because we hadn't talked in a bit, it would just be a bit awkward, but we fell right back into our old pattern, and so I just want to encourage you guys to maybe reach out to someone that's an old friend or something like that, because who knows, you could have a great time. I think that's all I have for this episode of Onward. Thank you so much for listening. Leave any questions or topics that you want me to discuss in the question box below, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Stay swaggy.